Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. We're about to do legs, let's go. I tried, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know you're probably feeling like me. You're a little like stir crazy, right? I'm used to being in large groups of people all the time, joking, singing. These people got me going crazy. Calm down. Woosah, James. Woosah, woosah. What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming in today. Today, we're going to do some leg workouts. And so, if you've been getting crazy like me, nothing better than going for a run or getting some exercise in to kind of get some of that nervous energy out, right? Getting that kind of, what do they call it? Locked up in a prison? I don't know. Anyway, so today we got a great workout. If you're a runner, this is going to be a really good workout to help strengthen your glutes, help with that hip mobility. As runners, we tend to kind of have the motion going over and over again, right? And most injuries come from repetitive motion injuries, right? And so this is a great way to kind of do some prehab, as well as increase your turnover and your overall glute and hamstring strength. If you're not a runner and you're just looking for a great leg workout, this is the one because it really will help with this hip mobility we're going to be doing with your squats, any of your explosive movements, and then also help that butte, right? So let's get this workout going. We'll, of course, always do a warm-up. Make sure we get that blood flowing, whether it's a little bit of a jog, some jumping jacks for about 5-10 minutes, jump rope, whatever you're going to utilize, and then kind of go through some sort of active stretch. So we have a really good active stretch routine you can do right up here in this corner. Takes you about 10 minutes to do it, and then you can get into the workout, right? So today's workout is going to be brought to you by the number 5. Because that's the repetitions we're going to do, and then we can kind of ramp up from there. And we'll do 3 rounds of each one of these exercises. Are we ready? Are we ready? We're not gonna do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. My mind is just going crazy. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Hey guys, you ready for the first exercise? All right, here we go. I'm sorry for being goofy. I'm sorry. I told you. Stove up, stove up. All right, so what we're going to start with is we're going to start with a form of windshield wipers. So we want to have our knees and our ankles in a 90-degree angle. So we want our knees and our ankles even, our knee and our hip even, hip and our knee and our ankle even, right? So when you start this, you may need to lean back just a smidge because the key here, the first key, is to make sure our knees are able to get to the ground. And so you may struggle with that, and so your knees may not be able to do that because your hips are super tight, your glutes and everything are tight. So if you need to lean back, right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to rotate. So we're gonna go from one side to the other, and then I want you to try to squeeze your glutes and come up, right? So we'll rotate back, that's 1 and 1. Other side, 2 and 2, and then all the way up to 5. Now, if you're not struggling at all, right? So if it's not, your hips aren't super tight and you have some fairly, warmed up or loosened hips, right? So we want to not use our hands, and we bring it across, right? And then come up with no hands, okay? So we want to make sure that we engage our glutes by squeezing those glutes, and try to keep our shoulders and our hips square. So we don't want to be leaning forward like we're doing a pigeon, right? So keep those hips and those shoulders square, right? Rotate without trying to move your feet, right? And then bring it up, hips and shoulders square. Now, a lot of times the tendency as well is if your hips are fairly tight, is when you rotate, you're gonna wanna try to move your feet over, right? And that's just to reposition those feet to get your knees where you want them. Well, that kind of defeats our purpose. So we wanna make sure we keep those feet stationary, and we just wanna rotate from side to side. All right, good job, guys. All right. So our next exercise is actually going to be timed rather than actual repetition, okay? So what we want to start out with our arms directly over our heads. We want to think about keeping those elbows locked out. So we don't want the kind of half elbow, bent elbow situation. We want those elbows locked out to fully extend that body and really engage that torso, okay? So once those arms are up, we're going to lift one leg up, keep that core tight. Really work on not bending the hip out, right? So we don't want to get that hip way over to the side. We want to keep the core engaged. And so we're going to switch legs, right? Bring it up, keep the core tight. Give me like a 2 or a 3 count with a pause. 2 or a 3 count with a pause. 2 or a 3 count with a pause. And as that timer is going, right? So we're running for a minute. As that timer is going, I want you to start slowly but surely, every 15 or so seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, start picking the pace up just a little bit. Picking that pace up just a little bit so you're not pausing as long and your steps are getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, right? So by the time you get to about 45 or 50 seconds, you should be picking that pace up, and it's almost to the point where you're running. And we will, once that minute hits, you got time and you pause. Now, some variations of this to make this a little bit more challenging. You can grab a couple of dumbbells, hold those dumbbells above your head. You can grab a sandbag or a sand bell, which is going to be kind of an awkward weight, really going to help your core. The other option is you can grab a band. Now, if we wrap a band directly around the arches of our feet and do the same motion, you're really going to feel that engagement right there on that glute. So we'll do another video here in a moment to kind of show what that looks like once we finish the roundup. All right? All right, guys. So if we want to make this just a little bit more challenging, what we can do is we can take a band and wrap it around the arches of our feet. So this is the one where we have our arms locked out above our head. All right, so make sure those elbows are locked to help engage that core. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring that leg up slowly, right? This is for that 1 minute round, and we're going to switch. So this is really going to engage that glute and that hip flexor a lot more, really force you to engage that core more. And so we're just going to intensify this particular movement. Now I make the suggestion, try it first without the band, because you're going to get a pretty good workout with it. But as you progress and you get stronger, then you can add the band. Whew, okay. Oh my gosh, heart rate's up, breathing heavy. I wasn't planning on working out. All right, so try it with the band, and then you can try it with different resistance, right? So some bands are stronger than others, and that'll really help add a definite challenge to this particular workout. All right, so this next one is definitely going to get your heart rate up a little bit, but it's really going to focus on that glute. So what we want to do is you need to get someplace where you can kind of step up. So you need, if you have stairs at home, if not, go outside to a curb. Doesn't really matter if you don't have a step or a pad or something to utilize, but you want to make sure that it's elevated at least 6 inches. And then as we make it more complicated, or as it gets more difficult, or if you want to make it more difficult, you just get a higher step, right? So what we want to do is we're going to put one foot up on whatever that elevated position is, and our arms are going to be in that runner's position. The key on this is to make sure that we're pushing with the leg that's elevated. So we're not going to just switch legs. We want to push up and jump, right? So we push up and jump, up and jump. We're going to do it the same way we did our previous exercise, where we go specifically for 1 minute. So you don't have to go super fast. If you want to intensify the exercise, then yeah, you can speed it up. But we're worried about time on this, so it'll just go solid for a minute. So we're going to go up and jump, up and jump, up and jump. Moving, making sure we're breathing, pushing off, and you're really going to feel that right there on that hamstring and glute, where that hamstring inserts into that glute. Now, if we want to take it up a notch, we get a higher step. So you can see this is a much higher step. This is about 20 inches off the ground. So when you push up, you're really going to feel that glute burning, right? So the higher the step is, the more difficult the exercise will be, or the more challenging the exercise will be. But either way, we'll do this for a minute, then give yourself a few seconds to recover before you do that last exercise. All right, guys, so for our last exercise, we're going to go back to a repetition count. So we'll go back to a count of 5. So our first exercise, we're going to do 5 reps. Our second exercise will go for a minute, and our third exercise will go for a minute, and then our last exercise will do a 5 count. Now, for this particular one, this is going to be a mobility and a strength exercise. So what we want to do is, probably the easiest thing to do would be to start by standing up. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, and what we're going to do is we're going to go down into a squat position. So try to squat while keeping your heels on the ground, and then we're going to bring our knees to the ground. So we're going to drop those knees forward, keeping our butt on our heels, and then take your glutes, squeeze your glutes to bring everything forward, engaging those glutes and those hip flexors. Then we'll bring it back down to our heels, roll back to our heels are on the ground, back into that squat position, and then we'll stand up. We'll go down again, forward, glutes up, back to your heels, and stand up. Down, forward, squeeze the glutes, back, and stand up. And we'll do this for a 5 count. Now, you may be at the position where your mobility, your hip mobility just isn't there yet. Maybe even your ankle mobility on those squats. It's not a big deal. So you can do this one leg at a time. So bring one foot up, right? The other one up, and then stand up. Down, bring your leg down, squeeze the glutes, come back down, leg up, and stand up. Now, some of the keys is to try to really work on having those heels on the ground. So for some of us, maybe our hip mobility or our ankle mobility isn't there yet. So this may be the lowest we can go without those heels coming off the ground. That's fine. If this is all you got, for now, that's it. As you improve, right, as your hip mobility improves, you should be able to get lower. So if this is all you got, just put your leg down from there, squeeze, bring it forward, back to where you started, and stand up. But really work on doing this nice, slow, and controlled. So all 4 of these exercises, we're gonna do them based off of whatever repetition or time I gave you, and we'll do 3 rounds of this. So it's called a deck squat. This squat, hollow, come forward. So we'll go right back, rock back, forward, and stand up. So if you don't have the hip mobility just yet where you can roll forward, an alternative is you can grab a weight, and it doesn't have to be heavy. The heavier it is, actually, the easier it is. So this is probably the only exercise you'll ever do where the more weight you use, the easier the exercise is. Because what the weight does is it helps give you momentum to get you over your hips. So when you come backwards, you'll go forward, make sure the weight is directly over your hips, and then stand up. So the weight makes it so much easier that you literally probably won't have to do the whole big rock up thing, right? So if you're struggling with it, just means your hips are probably tight and you have to just keep working at it, and I promise you, eventually you'll get it. So you can use probably 2-3 pound weight, and as you get better, or 5 pound weight, 10 pound weight, and as you get stronger at it or better at it, you can just lower the weight till eventually not have any weight. If you're still struggling and you're not getting it with the weight, then you can do it where your feet are below your backside. So as long as your butt is elevated above your heels, it's gonna make it pretty much more manageable to stand up, right? So you go down and stand up. So having those feet below your backside will definitely get you into a place where you can do it. So we'll do that for a 5 count. The second one we're gonna do is we're gonna get onto our backside in a dead bug position, okay? So feet up like you're sitting in a chair. If you've ever taken a class before, you've definitely heard me say, legs up like you're sitting in a chair, hands over your shoulders like a zombie. So we're gonna get those shoulders off the ground to engage that core. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna straighten out one of those legs. So one knee is in your chest, one leg is straight, and we're gonna crunch up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. On this one, this is gonna be for a timed repetition, right? So we're not actually gonna count how many we're gonna do. So you'll do 30 seconds on one leg, try to do it without stopping. Don't worry about going fast. This one's gonna suck, all right? As soon as you hit 30 seconds, switch legs and go again. Up and down, make sure you're breathing. Up and down, make sure you're breathing, right? So if you start doing this exercise and you feel your abs start to cramp, that's your sign you're doing it correctly, right? So maybe you struggle and you're not able to hold it for the entire time. Well, give yourself a time to shoot for. So if maybe the first round you do it and you're not able to make it, well, instead of doing it for a minute, try to do it for 30 seconds and then switch every 15 seconds, right? So what we're gonna do is just like our first set of exercises, we're gonna do 3 rounds of those abs. Thanks for coming in today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the workout. If you did, as always, give us a thumbs up, share this video with as many people as you have. We're trying to build this community, and like I've said probably so many times, I feel like already, it's tough in the social distancing, everything we've got going on right now. Building a community is not exactly the easiest thing, but that's what's amazing about technology, about YouTube. But it takes more than just me. It's gonna take you, your friends, to really help grow this. So share this workout with somebody that maybe they're a runner, or maybe somebody that's looking into getting starting to exercise because they're fun. They're maybe a little bit different than what you're used to, and you don't need anything but yourself and some space, right? You just need a little bit of room. So if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at BC Fit Status. And if you're interested in maybe personal training or run coaching, we can do all this stuff. Just you can be in the comfort of your own home. We can do it FaceTime. We do online coaching, all that great stuff. And you can check out all that stuff at our website at bcfitstatus.com. So thank you for coming in, guys. Try to do something, learn something new today. Do something that's gonna challenge you, because when you change your mind, you can change your life. So thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate you. I'm gonna walk out of here singing a song. I'm gonna sing a song, yeah! Y'all didn't think I could hit that high note, did you? What?